Hey, St. John family. Today, just briefly, I want to reflect on the relationship between our current experience of quarantine and Lent. So I recently came across a really interesting article by Father John Menesakis, in which Father John looks at the root of the word quarantine, and we find that it's actually derived from an Italian expression, which I'm going to butcher for you guys now, Quaranta Giorni, which was a period of 40 days in which ships sailing into Venice actually had to remain moored away from the harbor as a precaution against the plague. Really fascinating. Even more interesting is that that expression actually borrows its name and its meaning from the Italian word for Lent, and that word being quadragesima. And I also definitely did not say that correctly. But it's really cool to see the relationship between quarantine and Lent, and that quarantine, the word quarantine, really has its root in the Italian word for Lent. Really fascinating. Lent for us is truly a quarantine, right? It's a quarantine that we experience every single year. It's an opportunity for us to, in a sense, create distance between ourselves and the world, and to take a step back and to gain a refreshing perspective on the world and our relationship to the world. And really to see the world as it truly is, and that being a gift from God and a means by which we commune with one another and with God. And so Lent for us is a time of reorientation. We reorient ourselves back towards God with and through one another, right? It's really interesting because it seems like this distancing that we experience every year during Lent is now being forced upon us, right? We're being asked to stay in our homes. We're being asked to create social distancing. And for the first time, it seems like the entire world is experiencing and, in a sense, observing Great Lent together because everybody's being forced to distance themselves from the world, from the routine mundanity of everyday existence, as Father Schmemann so affectionately puts it. Right? There's reason to be encouraged about all of this, right? So just as Lent is a duration of time, a period of 40 days, just as Lent, as a duration of time, has its end in something, that end being Christ resurrected, right? Christ victorious. So too does our quarantine, so too does this pandemic have an end. And thankfully, we also know what that end is. The victory of Christ, Christ resurrected. The victory of life over death, right? And so I just want us to remain encouraged in the midst of all of this, this unfortunate situation, because we really and truly know that Christ is still victorious. Christ is still risen. Life has still defeated and overcome death, right? And so I want us to be encouraged by that and to really take advantage of this opportunity, this time that we have. It's somewhat timely that this quarantine that we're experiencing is happening during Lent. And I think it'd be a really good thing for us to take full advantage of that as an opportunity to continue to reorient ourselves back towards God, right? And to remember the world as it really and truly is, as a means by which we commune with God and with one another, even though that might be a little more complicated right now. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy. We miss you all here at the church, and God willing, we'll be able to see you all again very soon.